for coming out to take their time to learn more about this watershed project, Harrington Drive Water Main Replacement Project. This is the virtual community meeting regarding that project. Next slide. So I'll start with welcome and introductions. My name is Cassandra Marshall. I am the Assistant Director of the CIP Program for Watershed Management. Tonight I will be sitting in for Mr. Kerry Williams. He was unable to attend. We do want to start with welcoming everybody, starting the contractors, the neighbors, the ratepayers, pretty much all of our stakeholders. Next slide, please. The meeting agenda will be as follows. Welcome and introduction will be done by myself. Again, I'm the Assistant Director of the CIP Program for Watershed Management. Greetings. This project lies within two districts, District 2 and District 6, with Michelle Long Spears and Commissioner Ted Terry. We're going to also have a watershed overview performed by myself. I will also discuss the problem and our solution to repairing the issue at hand. The project scope and construction overview will be discussed by Mr. Martin Nook. He is the Construction Inspector Senior for DWM. And we will also have communications led by Miss Alicia Penny. She's the Public Relation Manager for Watershed Management. And lastly, we will end with questions from everyone. So I'm not sure if we have anyone from the commissioner's office here. We will take a minute if someone is here from their office. You're welcome to have or say anything you want about the project or anything about DeKalb County. Okay, I'm assuming no one is here from the commissioner's office. And again, this is in District 2 and Super District 6. Now we'll discuss a little bit background on what we do as a watershed, as a division. First, what we do, we serve over 700,000 plus ratepayers in the county. We intake water from the river, the Chattahoochee, and we treat it and produce safe and clean drinking water. We treat up to 128 million gallons per day of safe drinking water. We distribute approximately 70 million gallons per day of safe drinking water throughout the system. And then we intake and treat up to 56 million gallons per day of wastewater. All in all, through this whole system, we maintain over 5,000 miles of water distribution and sanitary collection pipe. Next slide. So why is DeKalb County replacing the line? Well, this is largely due to the system just being aged and old infrastructure. We have the problem of water main breaks, but historically, the pipe has a useful life. Most of these system and pipes are at the end of its useful life, 70 years plus. And so it's time for us to upgrade that system. In doing that, we want to improve customer service. And in the end, we want to upgrade our communities for future generations. So along with DeKalb County Watershed Management staff, we are supported by contractors, program managers, and firms that assist us with our construction management. AECOM is our program manager. CGA Solution helps oversee and manage the construction project, and the contractor is RGI, the Renee Group. So next, I will discuss about our problem and the fix for the problem. Again, this is primarily due to the infrastructure being aged. The pipe was installed in the 1950s. In this area, we've been faced with over 49 water main breaks from 1989 to 2024. So we have excessive breaks, aged infrastructure, operational inefficiencies such as tuberculation and corrosion in the system. The number of pipe failures increased with time is a good indicator that the pipe is in need of replacement. And again, the useful life is only approximately 70 years, and we're well beyond that 70-year period. All right, so we've discussed the problem. Now I will give you a little information about our solution to the fix. So as I said earlier, I'm the assistant director of the CIP program. That is the capital improvement program. And a capital improvement is simply a project that helps maintain or improve an asset. It can either be new construction or replacement of an infrastructure. So earlier this year, the Board of Commissioners approved a new CIP program for $4.2 billion for work to be completed from 2025 to 2035. Harrington Drive Water Main Replacement Project is a $3.2 million project that is included in that plan. So on behalf of Watershed Management, the department is grateful to all of the commissioners who are all responsible for the approval of the CIP plan. Thank you, commissioners. The Harrington Drive Water Main Replacement Project is included within that CIP plan. My team, the capital improvement team, and the construction team is responsible for getting the work done. My team includes 2 DWM construction managers and 12 licensed inspectors. So next you will hear from Mr. Mark Nooks. He is our construction inspector senior. He will be your primary contact for any issues, complaints for the projects. And Mr. Nooks, he has over 10 years plus of construction experience. Also, along with our in-house staff, we are also supported by consultant firms who help assist the county with construction management and inspection services. So what we want you to know today is we're here to help. We want to help to reduce or eliminate emergency repairs. We want to stop breaks. We want to protect the environment. And finally, after the project is complete, it will improve sustainability to the system. These improvements should last a minimum of 100+ years. Next slide. You will now hear from Mr. Mark Nooks about the project scope and overview.
Thank you, Ms. Marshall. Good evening, everyone. My name is Mark Nooks, and I'm one of the inspectors assigned to the Harrington Drive project. I will provide you information on the project scope and construction overview during this meeting. You see, the goal of the team is to work closely with the general contractor to ensure a quick and efficient project completion. Next slide, please. The project scope for this particular work in your neighborhood is to install approximately 9,500 linear feet of new 8-inch ductile pipe there in your neighborhood. This will include new service lines, hydrants, valves, and pavement restoration. The trench will be milled and resurfaced once the installation of the new water main is complete. The existing 6-inch will be abandoned in place. This will be formed by isolating it from the current water system. Once that's complete, a non-shrink grout will be used to fill the old water main. For this project, the new water main will be installed in the street approximately 3 feet from curb. All disturbed pavement and landscaping will also be replaced in kind. Erosion control will be installed throughout the entire project, and no more than 1,000 linear feet of trench will be open at one time and must be filled and covered by the crews once they leave daily. Next slide. Now here's the project overview. There are approximately 100 to 150 residents that'll be impacted. As you can see in the map, the red line on the map represents the streets that are included in this project. Those streets are Harrington Drive, Scowell Drive, Wood Trail Lane, Fox Hills Drive, and Winter Green Lane. Next slide, please. Now let's go ahead and discuss the construction overview. Next slide, please. The method of construction is called the open cut method. It is a traditional and widely used technique for installing water mains. It involves excavating a trench along the desired pipeline path, placing that new path in the trench, and then backfilling and restoring the surface. This method provides direct access to the pipe, making it ideal for straightforward installation and repairs. It's most commonly used in areas where surface disruption is acceptable or where trenchless methods are not feasible. Next slide, please. Now let's discuss the project duration. The project duration is approximately 9 months, and the schedule goes as follows. Community notices we're giving out on April 17th. We're currently having our community meeting this evening. Mobilization will start on May the 7th. Now, I've visited the location of the neighborhood, and we have erected two large signs there in your neighborhood, one on Lawrenceville, at the corner of Lawrenceville and Harrington, and one at the corner of Wood Trail in Harrington. That gives you all that information that we are talking about right now. So you see, with the mobilization on May the 7th, you'll start to see heavy equipment coming in, as well as materials to get started on the project. The full construction will start on May the 12th. Once that's done, the final restoration of the paving will happen sometime around December of 2025, the end of this year. Let me go ahead and just clarify that, all these dates that we're talking about now are weather and site condition dependent. We know that sometimes the weather creates issues where we cannot get things done, so it might push it out further, but our goal is to be on track as much as possible. Next slide, please. Now, the team and I are the first line of contact on this project. And I would like to say that if anyone in the neighborhood has any questions, feel free to come by and talk to us. We're the ones in the truck with the DeKalb County logo, or we'll have on our high-vis vests with DeKalb County logo, and we'll answer any questions you might have at that time. From the first day of commencement, the team will be on site to ensure that construction activities are done correctly. We want to ensure that corrosion and sedimentation controls are in place, where we put storm drain socks in the storm drains so that no debris gets into the storm drain area. We also want to go ahead and keep the contractor accountable by ensuring that the work is performed to the contract documents, the contract drawings, and the specifications from DWM. But most importantly is that we want to go ahead and ensure safety, not only for the contractor, but for the people in the neighborhood. We know that we're coming to the summertime season and, kids will be out of school. So we're going to always be on the lookout to make sure that the neighborhood is safe. One of the most importantly is that we're going to have flaggers out to help with traffic control. They will help, and their specific job is to ensure that traffic flow is as smooth as possible. So we're asking you that if you're in the area for construction and the flagger says to stop with their stop and go paddle, please stop because there is something going on further up that we don't want anyone to get harmed. And when everything is cleared up, then they'll put a slow paddle indicator on and you can go on through. Also, if we're passing your property and we happen to block your driveway just for a few hours while we're laying that pipe and you need access out or need access in, please feel free to contact one of the flaggers or one of the contractors out there, and they'll make sure that you have access in and out of your property. Next slide, please. Overall, the construction team will ensure that the project is completed and your property is restored. As you can see, the picture on the left depicts a typical construction site or work zone. And the picture on the right shows how the property will be restored in kind or better. Now I will turn this back over to Ms. Marshall, who will discuss the community awareness. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mark. Again, I will discuss the community awareness. So what to expect? Mark kind of hit on a good bit of this, the construction traffic. There's going to be a lot of foot traffic and a lot of vehicles in and out of the neighborhood, construction deliveries, construction parking. They will be parked alongside the street and maybe even within the work zone. You know, there will be construction workers, construction employees, contractors up and down the road every day. There will be material and equipment deliveries by means of large tractor trailers. However, we will have crews and flaggers to guide these vehicles in and out of the community. We're going to also have where every vehicle that is on the site, they either have the company logo or they need to have a delineated DeKalb County contractor sign on the side. Everyone on the site also should have a county identification badge. There's going to be increased noise, mainly due to the backup alarm, the heavy equipment, and just saw cutting when we're saw cutting the road in order to open up the trench. Our typical work hours are from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And the duration of the project is approximately 6 to 7 months. I think earlier Mark said it's 9 months, but it's 6 to 7 months. We plan to be done with this project by the end of the year. And again, residents, you would always have access to get in and out of your driveway. If we're blocking your driveway, simply come out, request the contractor or a DWM employee, hey, I need to get out, and we will assist you in getting out of your driveway. Also, prior to any water shutoffs, any planned water shutoffs, things do happen that is not always planned, and we do shut off the water. But planned shut off, we will give a 24-hour prior notification to everyone when we're having planned events. Next slide. All right, the sign on the bottom left of our screen is an example of a sign we require our contractors to install prior to starting work. Mark touched on this, on the location of the signs for the projects. And also on the bottom right is where we have the generic DeKalb County watershed contractor sign. If they're in a vehicle that doesn't have a company logo or unmarked, that in order to be on the site, they are required to have a DeKalb County watershed contractor generic sign. Next slide. All right, you will now hear from Miss Alicia Penny about public communications.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Alicia Penny, and I'm the Public Relations Manager for Watershed Management. And tonight, I will share with you the ways that we will communicate with you throughout this project. Ahead of tonight's meeting, you would have received a letter such as the one here to the far left. We call this a notification letter that let you know about the project as well as tonight's meeting. Going forward, 48 to 72 hours ahead of any major update that's taking place in the neighborhood, or if we need to do a planned water shut off, you will receive either a letter as the one shown here or a door hanger like the one pictured here that will notify you of this outage or any important updates. The other way that we will be communicating with you throughout the project is by email. And so I do ask that everyone please provide us with your email address. If you would please place your email address in the meeting group chat, and we can capture those addresses to be used to send out regular updates on the construction and the progress of the project. Next slide, please. Thank you. All right, here are some of the touch points, some of the ways that we will be connecting with you. We do have a project hotline set up for this project as well as other CIP projects. I will share the information for that project hotline. There's an email as well. I will share that towards the end of this presentation. We also have a dedicated web page for this project. That page will be on the under capital improvement projects on the DeKalb Watershed website. We will also use social media to update you, and for the general public, we will use news releases. We did send out one ahead of tonight's meeting to let everyone know about the project and about tonight's meeting. We also utilize Nextdoor. And as Ms. Marshall explained before, project signs, and we have erected project signs in the neighborhoods to let you know, or in the vicinity of the project to let you know that the project is coming, as well as contractors will be on hand to answer questions that you have about the project. Next slide, please. Here we have the QR codes for all of our social media, our Nextdoor, Facebook, X, which is Twitter, YouTube, and the CIP project page that I just referenced. And I'll pause here for a minute to allow you to access these QR codes if you like. Okay, next slide, please. I mentioned previously that we have a project information line. We have the number listed here. This is a 1-800 number where you can leave a message and someone will return your call within 24 to 48 hours. We also have, there's an email address where you can send an email to the project information page. We also have contact information listed here for some of the critical people, important people that you would need to get in contact with if you had questions about the project. They're listed here. Mr. Mark Nook's information is not listed, but we will add that information and that will be sent to you in the final version of the project. Most importantly, if something happens and there's an emergency, it's outside of regular business hours, the crews are gone for the day, it's the weekend, we want to encourage you to use our dispatch, our DeKalb Watershed dispatch line. That is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week phone number or line where it's always answered. The number is listed here, the email is listed here. There's always someone available 24 hours, 7 days a week who answers this line. If there's an emergency, we want you to use this line, this dispatch line, and not the project information line, because of course, after hours, there will not be someone accessing that project information line. All right, I do see all of the email addresses pouring in. I thank you for providing us with those email addresses. At this point, next slide, please. This concludes our presentation. We will now move into the question and answer part of our presentation. We ask that you please place your questions in the chat. And I do already see, we did already have some questions in the chat. And I'll start with one of the questions was, or one of the statements was, the map also includes Pine Bluff. That was a statement to say that we showed also includes Pine Bluff. All right, can we get electronic address for Mr. Nooks? Yes, we can. Mr. Nooks, if you want to put that in the chat, but we will also add it to the final version of the presentation as well.
Sure.
All right, I have here a question. I noticed the marker spray painted a large portion of our front lawn last week. Should we expect damage to our lawns or only the roadway?
Only the roadway. We're planning to put the pipe within the street. The markings that you are seeing are probably from our 811 utility call locates, where they're marking the existing utility, all existing utilities. So it's just for information for the contractor, so he would know where the existing utilities are to avoid hitting those or damaging them.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Marshall. Let's see. Next question I see here is, how long will the water be off when planned?
Typically, when planned, we do two type of notices. We're doing where we're transferring your existing meter to the new service line connection from the new main. That only takes minutes, 30 minutes tops. And then the other one are when we're doing cutting plugs or tie-in, where we're connecting the existing pipe to our new pipes. Those are sometimes longer. Those are anywhere from 4 to 8 hours.
Okay, the next question. When finished, will the entire road be repaved?
No. If I'm not mistaken, the scope of this is probably just a trench patch, which is just the width of our trench.
That's correct.
So if you go back to the picture depicted where we show the beginning and before or during construction, and then show, yes. This is what it will look like when it's completed. We will only pave the area that we've trenched. Okay, the next question, do we have access to download the PowerPoint presentation? Yes, the PowerPoint will be available on the project page. If you'll give us until tomorrow to get that uploaded, but we will also email it out to the group for those of you who have provided your email addresses. So yes, it will be available. Will equipment be stored on the street?
I'm gonna defer that to the contractor who is on the line. Can you unmute Dawood?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. We'll try to find a laydown yard. I think we have one selected. So we will be storing all the equipment and material in a laydown yard close to the project.
So every day we're moving the excavator and pretty much everything and
Correct.
vacuuming the ditch. Okay. I
Correct.
just want to confirm.
We will move. We will only move enough pipe for the day, or material for the day, and then all the heavy equipment will be moved back to the yard.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. Next question, will water meters be replaced or need to be serviced?
No. We did a large water meter changed out program the past 4 years. All meters should be up to grade and standard. We're just only swapping over the services.
Okay, next question, will you have extra traffic flaggers to assist parents transporting children to the international community school, this work will be done along the route to the school?
Typically the flaggers are just there at our work zone. So if you're going within the work zone, I'm sure they will assist through there. I'm not sure about a route through the school.
Okay, next question. What is the future plan for pipes in the rest of the neighborhood, like Woodridge and Wood Trail?
So our program managers, they have done an assessment of all of the pipes in the system based on age, breaks, tuberculation. The projects or the streets that we're doing now were ranked kind of high on our list. And so, of course, they got prioritized to the top of the list. I'm sure at some point the whole neighborhood will be done, but that is probably in a further year out program plan. If you wanted additional information about that to see where it falls in our plan, we can also provide that.
All right. Can you give residents notice prior to work in front of their driveway? Can they park along the street?
That is a good question. I mean, because we're working in the road and we really don't want you to park where we're putting the pipe. So I would expect our contractors to at least give a couple of days notice to let the residents know, hey, we're here on your street. Please try not to park on the street or have the vehicle move by the next morning when we show up to work at 7 a.m. So Dawood, with that being said, I don't know if that's something you all has historically done. We do need to let them know prior to starting work on a specific street to let them know, hey, don't park on the street, at least from the hours from 7 to 7.
Okay, next question. What part of the neighborhood will the work start? And the next question is the same, in the same vein. Do you have a general plan for where you will start the work and the route you will take to complete the work?
So Mr. Dawood, I'm gonna defer to you again.
Yes, as of right now, we have not figured that out, but I can make a call just to real quick, and I can answer you in about 5 minutes. So if y'all can continue, I can chime in once I get an answer.
All right.
Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Nooks has provided his information. We will also add that to the final version of the PowerPoint. Our next question. We have a neighborhood event on Saturday, November 15th, that will be at several of the homes on Harrington and one at the corner of Fox Hills and Wintergreen. Wanted to let you know. I know our event is on the weekend and probably not during your work hours, but I wanted to let you know in case we need any extra planning on our part or on yours. In the event, neighbors will be walking on our streets from home to home. So thank you for letting us know that. And Mr. Nooks, contractors, if we can make a note of that and we can work with the residents to make sure that happens smoothly.
Sure. Thank you for the question, Mrs. Christina. If you can, please send me an email so that we can contact you several weeks before that so we can really arrange everything and make sure that everything is to your satisfaction during that weekend.
Thank you. All right, our next question. What is the first place to be done? Can Harrington from, I guess, L Highway to Wood Trail be
Highway.
done? Pardon me?
Lawrenceville Highway.
Oh,
I mean, to
Lawrenceville
me, that
Highway.
makes the most logical sense, whoever wrote that, but we
Okay.
don't really dictate where the contractors start first, so.
He said,
We'll
from Lawrenceville Highway to prevent traffic delays to ICS School, which is in session until May. Lots of cars come down Harrington from Lawrenceville Highway for the school in the morning and in the middle of the afternoon. Okay.
Can we, it did, well, I'm still waiting on Mr. Dawood to come back with, because I believe they have a subcontractor who's actually performing the work. So I think that's who he's calling.
All right. When the trench is dug, will the dirt be stored on the street or on residents' yards?
Neither. We haul it off in a dump truck.
Okay. Next question is about scheduling. Can we get an idea when we can expect the construction along the streets now, like you're going to be on Harrington from X to X? We'll skip over that for now until we get the answer from the contractor. The next question is, where's the laydown yard for the equipment?
This is Dawood Mills. For where we will start at Lawrenceville Highway, and we'll have 1 to 2 crews out there. And as we make our way down Harrington, we'll have the other crew that will branch off to Fox Hill. So that is the plan for the start, where we're going to start. And then the laydown yard, we have not found we normally find a homeowner that will let us use a piece of their property to store the equipment on. So we're still trying to find that property.
Okay, next question is, will we need to boil water or do anything different while this is going on?
No, while we're installing pipe, going through our processes and procedure, testing the new pipe, that doesn't have anything to do with the existing system. Only when we're doing the changeover of the services. But by then, everything is in good tack. The pipe has been pressure tested. We've chlorinated the line, and all we're doing is disconnecting the service line to your meter and connecting the new service line from the new pipe to the meter.
All right, the next statement, there is a neighborhood event on Pine Bluff for Halloween. Can this be put into the plan? And then a statement, Woodridge is probably older than Harrington. Can flaggers suggest drivers use Woodridge if coming in from Lawrenceville Highway when Harrington between Lawrenceville Highway and Wood Trail?
I don't
Okay.
know how we would suggest that. I mean, other than putting up a sign. And I don't know if we have the authority to send people a different route, because we don't have a detour. We're only got a lane closure permit.
All right, the next statement, could you make sure the contractors do give notice to residents prior to work in front of their driveways? This project notice was given 2 weeks after the letter was dated. Yes, we will make sure that you get prior notification ahead of the work taking place in front of your driveway. The October event on Pine Bluff involves hundreds of people. It is a haunted trail at the Shepherd Center. All right. Thank you for letting us know. There's just a statement thanking us for improving the neighborhood infrastructure and being so kind to share all these details. It's appreciated. Since Mr. Nooks asked for someone to send him an email, could he put his email in the chat? Yes, sir. If you scroll up in the chat, the email address is here, and I will just state it is mpnooks@dekalbcountyga.gov. It is listed in the chat, as well as his contact number of 678-296-1050. But we will add it to the contact page which is the final page of the project, we will, of the presentation, excuse me, we will add it to that page. And that is the version that will be posted to the website as well as emailed to you. Let's see. Do the drain covers work for vertical storm and horizontal drains? And then to the contractor, can he consider starting not from Lawrenceville Highway? See the earlier message about the ICS carpool.
I'm not sure I understand the drain cover work. I don't know if that's a storm drain question. We're not doing anything with the storm drain. This is only the drinking water main. Somebody gave a thumb up to I don't know who gave that.
I think it's the resident gave a thumbs up for the considering starting not from Lawrenceville Highway. See the earlier message about the carpool.
Oh, he wants it done after May,
Right.
after school is out, is what they're saying.
I think
Yes,
Couple of weeks.
yes.
So Dawood, can we make that happen? Which makes sense.
Well, let me have a conversation with the contractor or with our sub, and we
Okay.
will figure out what we can do. I'm not guaranteeing that, but we'll see what we can do. But I think that's where he has to get his feed from, so he won't be able to.
He'll do a tap and sleeve and into Lawrenceville.
Yes, that's yes. The way I understand the project, so there will be no way to get any water into the neighborhood unless we can route it somewhere else. That's why I have to talk to him.
So I guess what we're saying is, can you still do it backwards? That you're starting somewhere else. I don't know, Fox Hill. Let's say you're going around Fox Hill for 2 weeks and then start coming down Lawrence to give them time to let school out. That's all they're trying
That's
to
what
get.
I have to get with the contractor and have a
Okay.
conversation. And that's just something I have to conversate with him first before I can answer that question.
Okay.
Right. Is the changeover on a section by section basis, or is it one big bang changeover?
That's up to the contractor how he's testing. Far as I know, that's usually section by section. They'll lay a section of pipe, test it, chlorinate it, back T-test, and then we'll connect it to the new homes.
We need detour signage onto Woodridge. Seriously, while this is a residential area, there's a steady flow of cars in the mornings and afternoons. Lawrenceville Highway will be backed up and create a safety hazard.
So, I mean, I'm okay with us putting a message board that will to say we're starting construction here, trying to send them somewhere else. But we don't have a road closure that we're putting up detour signs.
Okay, did you say how much notice neighbors will be given when work will be done at their portion of the road?
So generally, we do a one-time project saying we're coming to do the work and we're starting on Monday. Notices as far as interruption to your home is when we get a little bit more specific about, hey, we're going to be working on this street. Like I told Dave Wood earlier, we would like to give you some type of notice so you're not parking on the street. But generally, there's not a notice to say, hey, now we're working on Harrington. We're working on Lawrenceville Highway. We're just transitioning as we're moving through the neighborhood.
If I heard correctly, there never should be more than 1,000 feet of steel plate covering the trench. Is this correct?
Yeah, generally we backfill the ditch with GAB. There's no reason to have 1,000 feet of plate. I'm not even sure if they cover it with plate. It's usually probably just loose gravel stone until we've tested the pipe and chlorinated it, and then we go back and do our trench patch. We don't like the plates either. So
Okay, just resident reiterating, asking for start at after the end of May for Harrington from Lawrenceville Highway. Residents' message board is fine. Thanks for considering. Maybe a sign on Lawrenceville Highway before Harrington, actually facing Lawrenceville
right.
Highway instead of current sign, which is hard to read. Okay, so we can look at placing additional sign.
Message board. So to me,
Oh,
that's the
message
message
board.
board.
Okay, so that's the contractor setting up a message board
Mhm.
before Harrington facing Lawrenceville Highway. Okay. How many feet of construction can be done in a day? How many houses will be affected in a day or week?
Typically, they get anywhere from 100 to 200 feet a day. How many homes will be affected in a day? I guess a general size lot is 50 foot. So 2 to 3 homes a day times 5 days up to 15 a week. It goes generally fast. So I know we're saying 7 months. A lot of that isn't necessarily the installation. It's the testing and the restoration and all of that stuff.
Oh, okay, it's drain covers meant sediment blocks for both vertical and horizontal storm drains.
Okay, I don't know if that's the question. I don't remember what the other question was relative to that.
The other
Mm.
question was, hold on, just one moment. Do the drain covers work for vertical storm and horizontal drains?
Yeah, we just usually put the black sock, guess that's what you're talking about, over the storm drain, which allows for sediment to not just go down the drain. That's typically all we're doing.
Okay, let's see. Next statement, it sounds like the work is done in a linear manner, starting at Harrington. So it will probably be obvious where the next day's construction will be.
That is correct.
Yeah, and then another statement, most of the neighborhood is 75-foot lots.
Okay, so 2 homes a day, maybe 3 again, is the only affected area as far as having open ditch.
Okay, I don't see any additional, do we have any additional questions? I don't see any other questions. Thank you again for those of you who have provided your email addresses. All right. There's a question, will you be communicating with school? And the answer is yes, we will definitely be communicating with the school. Are there any other questions? Will we get a recording of this? Yes, a recording of tonight's presentation will be placed on the project page on the website. And you'll be able to access the recording from tonight from that page. There's a question, will we be communicating with the Druid Hills Youth Sports that use Medlock Park? Do you have would you happen to have a contact for the Druid Hills Youth Sports? I don't believe that we have a contact currently for that organization. If you do have that, if you could share that with us, we will make sure that we communicate with the youth sports program. Let's see, how far in advance of the work will flaggers and signage be?
We use the standards, the MUTC standards. Obviously, if there are curves or something, some of the time that is dictated by the line of sight. So it really just varies depending on the location of the work. But they shouldn't be too far from the work zone. Unless you're going around curves, it could be a wider work zone.
Okay, Ms. Marshall, I think that that is all of the questions that I see in the chat. We thank you for your questions and we thank you also for attending. I'll turn it back over to Ms. Marshall.
Okay, if no one has any other questions, concerns, we'll give everybody a second chance. This is one of our largest turnout for any of our community meetings we've had in a long, long time, and we appreciate the interaction. We want to develop a good partnership to make sure we're handling your needs and addressing your needs, and you all are welcoming to us for working in your neighborhoods. Someone wrote a concern. It's the amount of cut through traffic. Okay, so they're concerned about the cut through traffic. So as quickly as possible as we can get those message boards up, we need to hurry up and do that to try to deter them from coming down the street.
And thank you for providing us for the Druid Hill Sports. Thank you for providing us with the email address. We appreciate that. Thank you. And we will communicate with them as well. We can add them to the email blast list. I believe that's it for the questions. I don't see any other questions or concerns. So we want to thank you for attending tonight's meeting. This is the awesome interaction. We look forward to partnering with you. And we at this time, the meeting is ended and we tell you, please enjoy the rest of your evening. And thank you.
Yes, thank you for coming out.